What's up? This is T-K² podcast.
Yes.
With yours truly, Makhareezy,
easy. Vale na tipo the one and only do not clap. Come O grand pop. Ke bona o combo.
Man. I khubitsa ka tsona khubitsa
so Makhareezy dog. Makhareezy wali easy wa eat.
I'm always on point. Yeah. Like easy ore.
Welcome to #1 podcast ever in Northwest. We are here, bang. We're doing this. Yes, with an amazing. I mean, quiet.
#1 in the world.
This is our topic.
What you call the lightings, the what young, but then my patient anyway.
Yeah. No, I'm
really before you go sing,
Oh, is it my turn to speak?
Oh my God.
I mean, yo, introduce yourself crazy. So I'm like, okay, give them a platform. Hey, I'm like waiting. Yeah, give me some vinyl scratch moment, but yeah. How y'all doing? Lisiame? Yeah, I'm happy to be here with you guys. I mean, such a great honor to be here, and kudos to you guys. Great step you've taken. Fourth Industrial Revolution, of course, we're here.
Got content.
That's how we do. That's how we rolling. Our nation.
But
this is
guys internationally.
Tell our people.
You do best.
You know what? I get it because I like edit. But anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, Africa, Kabupara, and the whole world. Kalina kina Olorato Masalesa. I am a film producer. I'm a PR practitioner. I'm a poet. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. And I'm a lover, man. So, yeah, dumelang loads. Oh, sure. Elia. Sure.
Come on.
All right, yeah. Pleasure.
Before we can start this interview, family like what's our family jam? What is family before we can start this?
Oh man, family is of importance to one's life's element. Rona ka setho rona re le batho bantsho o ka se khone go dira dilo dingwe mo botshelong ba gago go sena malome kgotsa go sena rakgadi. You understand? So nna ka khodiso ya me ke godisitswe yalo gore malome ke setlhare, for example, right? Ga dilo dingwe di sa tsamae sentle ga o le motho wa go ira setho, you know, ke sa gate ope di consequences, different religion and so forth. That's the foundation of family starts there, where foundation is simolla ka go bona mogolo mongwe kgotsa motsadi mongwe in your family playing a certain role in your life. You know, I mean, growing up, for me, I should say that I am more privileged to have a brother and uncle, or brother's uncle. When I speak of male members or male family members, Baba Tamikileng, a very important role in my life, where there's this thing of, you know, monna wi tshwara jana, monna o tshwara mosadi jana, and whatever. I saw that through them. You understand? So family is a very important element, because most of the time when you come from where you're from, you come home, right? And a home is made of family members. So family is very important.
Of relationship ya gago le bo di cousin.
The thing is, growing growing up, I have a family on my mom's side. I have a family ko Bloemfontein. So every December, my great grandmother unarata go risa Bloemfontein. I could not understand it until I understood it. You know, keep in touch with family, keep in touch in basis, you know. So the unfortunate part, we outgrow, they outgrow each other. We want to deal with them alone. However, there are some cousins that I'm very, 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 very close to. Very close. Hey, you know, no, when it comes to cousins, Kibwak, like my age, even younger, you know. So I'm very close, There's some that I'm very close, there's some we're not that close. Not because we dislike each other, but character-wise, energy-wise, we don't complement each other. No, give a Bluetooth, you know, fist bump, cool. You know, and so forth. So it's really it's quite simple. It's about the energy and character-wise, do we complement each other? Nice. You know, everybody has that family member. Ole wa o hupa thata go na le o didimetseng thata o senkeng a bua sepe go na le ole wa go kerekeng bo conductor choir, you know what I mean? So it's a good thing. Imagine inkabe re tshwana rotle, we would have been boring. So it's a good thing that everybody has different character because we learn life through them.
How close are you with your ancestors?
With who?
Ancestors.
Badimo ban. Mapara aga. Ejo, we are very close. How close I am because, you know, it depends on me, Lina, how I respond, right? It's when I listen. That's the thing. If you don't listen, of course, you're not going to be close to them. How say it? You don't do anything in the house. You sit because they are visiting and so forth. So with me, lebadi mubaka ajoge mapara ag.
Very.
Aba pare bemuda braya.
What you call?
I do every year. Look, it's not really every year. Mare selohela se sinye. You know, whether kholaita kerese, you know, ubuale boneka ntsu. Like very simple. It doesn't have to be where you invite people. You know, that's a conversation I've had with certain friends where I was taught. Or I was taught by different people of my life where there's there's no need to rubitse malome rakadi or whatever, you understand. It's wena because they're talking to you directly because you need to speak to them directly. So it's one-on-one session with them. You know, you say what you want, how you want it, when you want it, because you have to accept, you know, alignment ya botshelo ba gago.
Yo, what's the one guys go motho kwala modiragatsi because I know you understand me deep. I don't want to call my team here. Now sometimes they feel like, hey, the way they don't get it. Sometimes ke have zone out ke ba botsa potso ke nagana ba mo leveling ya ka kana kwa go le boteng mare bena gore yey shimona ganyesa o ira tsefenya.
That's good.
Yeah. No, let's get back to Maneta Rona. Maneta Rona. Ke mo ke gotle la bofelo ke bona ke poster ya go lo go Thobela FM.
Yes.
How was it?
I wasn't there in person. Okay. It was a telephonical interview. The interview was a little bit awkward. Hey, so ke say sorry ke shape bo kudu gore ke re sentle you know. But yeah, I mean, Thobela FM, it was amazing. It was really great. The interview was on point. It was nice and short and brief. I get it was brief. Let me not say nice, short, brief because it's the same thing. So it was brief. You understand? They wanted to know me through my film. You understand? From the creation to, or should I say pre-production, production and post-production, and where I am now as a producer of a film. Sure.
Post-production.
Okay, no, so, all right. Okay, ake tlhatlhamole bikinyana ga ke re pre-production as a producer ke mo ke hirang batho teng ke mo ke shebang the background of the people that I'll be working with. It's HR basically. Ke ira bo contracts, I break down budget, go na le bo schedule sa di meeting and so forth. I do that. Leading meeting, I'm the one who actually liaise that, right?
Producer.
Yeah, as a producer. Right. So now when we come to production is the actual shooting. Location. Post production identify location. So more production. Transport, you have to make sure transport casti, dijo, drinks and whatever, just the general, exactly like props. See, she knows this. Body props. You need to you make sure that everything sits the agreement and the agreement between the director, the producer, and agreement there, the script. So it's the actual shooting. Now post production editing. There's online, offline editing, so post-production kibo editing where you make sure bo color grading, everything is good, sound, fita, and so forth. So
So honale a writer. What's the difference between a writer and a producer?
A writer is mokwadi ne or a script writer. Ke motho yo kwalang based on what is given to that person, right? Like go na le bo storyline, what the storyline is about. So we tsaka one page outline. One page outline ke na leng the genre, it has the age, it has the synopsis, it has the log line, it has three stages, where the first stage all the three stages they actually explain the story but in summary. So wait, and remember I already prepared the characters, right? So go pre-production, that's where director okay, this is how I want the story to go. The writer meeting pre-production because how the story should flow. So producer everything, from the beginning to the end. So, but there's an executive producer, then producer. Executive producer ke bamadi. Executive producer, why who can?
So like a director. Ke motsamaisi wa tiragalo ha ile teng gore
director directs.
Executive ya gagwe.
No. There's no
executive director.
No, there's a director.
Fail.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, ni gonna the executive.
Yeah. So konele bo assistant director. Konele baba thusa. Mar director ke director.
Yano ke mo grama ba kutkera mantsi.
Mo chelete. When I depends. You because I can't get director so naki kadi thaka both verb noun present tense
because good musicianing ba complain or producer they don't get nothing.
Look, it's different with music industry is quite different, right? Rights and whatever. For example, the writer the music side on all the rights. Marahana the rights it's the film. Because ha sign a contract, it's already written there. Hey, Merko o dirang under this company, and they agree. So that's why it's very, very, very important. Podcast there should be a contract. The way if somebody misbehaves or does something out of line, you're able to sit them down. You signed this. These were the terms and conditions. Now you're going against this terms and condition. So me as a producer, I work on that in terms of contracts. I actually kira di kontraka, and then make sure that everybody understands it and make sure that everybody knows okay, if you wena o charge bokae wa ntlhaloganya
ba bantsi mo ba fotse line wa ba phone gore re tsenye mo
it's not easy it's not easy because go botlhokwa especially mo chabeng sa rona sa rantsho black society we should practice and be very practical when it comes to contracts. Also, unless somebody there's a verbal, agreement, right? Ha motho gore e mona ke na le Spane ke batla o ire 1 2 3 one tlhaloganya. Or somebody say ke na le Spane tla nthuse, but you say what exactly do you need from me? And lwena wa ikitse makwa ga gore a wa se khona khotsa o se khona o se ipateletsa. I mean, if you know that you're good at producing, more than script writing, you know the background of script writing, of course, but you're good at producing, stick to what you're good at, because at the end what you're good at can still lead you into something bigger. Like from producing you might become one of the best directors because you learn behind the scenes.
I know.
That's why I'm a mechanic.
That's how I be ma wa le motho le ba ya di master khala kwa le go ntsa khala wa ba nganya tse di ntšha tse
so khanye ya gore you in film you simolotse kae a ke khanya gore o itsitse mo o bone mongo gae or ke re hela o juilela moshong gore ke batla
look childhood wise khale ke fascinatiwa ke di bioscope okay I've been fascinated by films or movies okay bayalo I've always been fascinated by ha gola selo se sentle o bona akere back in those days for example there was a series back then ka nako ya bophutatswana ene le ya Setswana bolisilo ene le ka Setswana so those type of things they made me as a young black girl or young black Tswana girl to actually dream bigger because if Setswana se khona go to be there on TV, there's nothing impossible. So it started from language, gore ga ntse re bua so bo pidipidi e matlhajana animation ya kale you're like what Mitriano and whatever. So it was quite puzzling. So morago ga mo ke simotse dilo tsa poko pele. When it comes to the arts, I've been in the arts for years. In terms of performance, in terms of poetry, I've been doing that for years. And then in terms of filimi sentle ka 2016. Remember, it was the uprising of Fees Must Fall. And then that's when nekele in this other group, Motswakoville, which it was me, Toady Mac, it was Pearl Moagi, and then Ibn Nale, this other gentleman Wakhalefenya, right? Lefenya, where we started this Motswakoville. We wanted to create content about Motswako because we felt like the history of Motswako in Korea, but they no longer see it the way we see it, And then from there, HP contacted one of the guys saying that Bafetu the student Fees Must Fall. Let's do this movement. You understand? And then that's when we were actually invited to arrange this, and it was a no budget music video. So HP actually came all the way from Jose Atlamahikeng with neresena plan ya go ra go shootela ka go iragalang ne, but we made it happen. Ra shootela temo chapeleng ile ya go ya the university, right, for free.
Wow, nice.
And we kept on we kept on posting wherever you are, come join, be in this music video, be in this movement. So I from there the skill of producing actually came from that, and coordinating. So it started from there, from that music video WHP Pasopa, and then from there and then last year actually that's when I got into the 3 months incubation year, Her Story, by Rato Mill, by Osile Rato Mileng, where there were facilitators Jakarete Bogochuluhi, facilitators like Sising Kabinde, facilitators like Mpo, this other gentleman, Mpho Kale ba berekela bo DSTV and so forth, as SABC and whatever, people have experience. So her story was about giving women platform to tell their story through film, you know, basically about gender-based violence. So for 3 months, you know, we started the whole pre-production, production, and post-production. In 3 months, we weren't privileged to be like other kids who went, you know, to film schools for 3 years and learning and whatever. In 3 months, and within those 3 months, like we actually shot our own films. Wow. You know, nerebe look at the group to shoot film. So film that we shot from there and my group, it was about, you know, it was talking about pastors who actually, you know, play a certain role in the community, but behind closed doors they are monsters. You know, so that was the title. You know, so from there, it's other 3 months, and then the journey of my actual film started when I took a chance. I applied for funding, called PACC, and I applied my storyline. You know, I've always had the story be in my mind all the time, and I took a chance, and they funded me. And then Habam Funda, I shot my film in January this year, right? For 2 days. You know? And the funny thing that still amazes me is that I actually hired two of the facilitators who were at the incubation.
3 months.
3 months, you know. They worked with me, you know. And then after the whole film, and then the film started getting recognition, where I started actually distributing, or not just, but submitting to film festivals around the world. And then the first selection was in Nigeria. Wow. The first selection was in Nigeria. Good. And then the second selection India. And then the third one was Makhareezy, called the National Arts Festival. Okay. And then the fourth time it was in India again. Right? And then as we speak, this past week in Escrinua ko Thokoza Film Festival, where international films were actually screened there. I mean, we're talking about Belgium, Italy, India, and whatever. And then now, as we speak, it's been, and then called Thokoza, it was selected for Best Short Film, right? The results are these days. I'm still waiting.
All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now, as we speak, end of this month, towards end of this month, it's been selected go Umgungundlovu International Film Festival, which is in Pietermaritzburg. So yeah.
And what day?
I'm hoping.
By the way, guys, we'll make sure that link so we make sure re bontsha batho gore a re bue maka mo a re bue ka motho o shupologanyela mo you can tell o itse story tsa gagwe. No, but it's nice, nice. Har o buile ka this thing ya incubation ya 3 months. Ha motho a tswa ya the School of Art ba bang tlo go bua ka bo di theater difference ke mo I can't go to like you go to generations when I do auditions.
You know what, what I learned throughout the years in the arts is each art complements the other. What I mean is that your acting at theater in front of the camera is different, but somehow the skills that you have, they can still complement in both industries. So having experience is good, and it depends on who you surround yourself with, right? With me, I'm privileged enough to be surrounded by people who already have experience in the film industry, and people who already have the high experience of working with people. So remember, our characters, you know, the superstar, you know, that person who comes in late, shades, coffee, hangover, you know, so when I say each skill complements the other, have experience. I mean, come on, everything is here. You can Google, you can go on YouTube or check out moto ha actor, or when they say get into character, what character, and you know yourself. You know, hela or whatever. You know how to zone yourself, right? As moto, you know how to put yourself in a certain situation. Baba angwe kabele bono hopola an incident that made you really cry, like and le know how we nagana ya go lisa. Maybe nagana bo sporty uthulile ki koloi, it was your first puppy. You know what I mean? It was your first puppy, you loved it, you know. Or maybe you saw somebody doing something wrong towards somebody, it made you cry. You know, get into character. And with character, you have to do research. If somebody say, you know, act like somebody who's mentally disturbed and whatever, they walk in a certain way. So they look in a certain way. And you know how to identify a person who's mentally ill. And you have to know somehow you have to know the background of that person. I mean, a lot of us right now, I've met some of my peers who are unfortunately, you know, mentally, you know, challenged. And what happened? Others would say, in fact, I was experimenting. So others would say, you know, it's witchcraft, or whatever, you know. So you put yourself in that person's shoes. So you need to know different characters. You know, like as much as on social media we love making jokes about, you know, people, like people with different characters. Meole waring ele e makatsang, waki ele ya nama. You know what I mean? She's a character. You get what I mean? Or even somebody who, you know, reole o bankanyang. You know how to identify a taxi driver. You know how to identify moto bankanyandi koloi. You know what I mean? Abantsatshore bo spanere. Even though I have a psycho go bereke, mare wa itse.
Ya tlogele nngwe ke le gore ya makatsa. Ha go te lo baratani musune o mo apole diaparo. I didn't tell you what's in the imagination. Can I have a spot to work a coloi? Now, I can't try to get never good or get DJ. Hey, my daughter, remember to
Maroitsepa Brag. Wait, ke ra hela gore ha go te cut ha o tlo go ignore
mogala magabzi
ai ga ke a lo le ke ra ha go te cut na ka teng o tsama metsi we because
no, you have to discipline yourself, Buffett.
Ranga da especially kana moranga khona go ema
mogala jana timing o mo itse mpiti na timing da
kana ja mo mo ipunga
na mala na chance la ka bore he mone
na go ting cut ya ga we go cut mo no mo smooth na tota so we just like
re batla go itse ne ke batla go itse gore ha e ka mo phating yo go be kwa ja ga tlo go iriwing ka gore na ke imagine ka spoti ya ka go lela gore thuletse koloi mara yaanong a ke tshotse ke imagine mama swa ka ke go tshwere and yaanong bare you have to ya ka go diragala ko show max what's that kana ke series la mazulu ele kana
the wife
the wife jigijigi ya no go iragala disi are gane maybe ke yone le ntse le script go tsamiwa yalo mare ra gore go simolola sentle go le taxi go lo go irwa jigijigi
How
are nya ro
a re batla go a le gone ke mannete wa ntsha matsoe a le straight
it's a character.
It's
a character. Because you're in character. No, but here's the thing, right? Remember, storyline. For auditions, they give you a script, right? You read that script. You know what's in the script. You already know. So, that's why how you channel yourself. This is a job.
I swear,
this is a job. This is a you have to zone in, have a skill of zoning into the character and zoning out of the character. Look, in the film industry, there have been incidents where, for example, somebody is in character where they have to play a rape victim, and rape is happening. After that, you have to take them go psychology, cancel and whatever. Make sure basha. So it's abo misuno and bo extra mile. It's abo khatla morogo. You understand? That's why it's a skill. Everything is a skill. Everything is a skill.
What's the good actor step by a horror? When we enjoy the man the kiss.
That one is an unprofessional question because Mama Sikio. Anyway, it's in Nitikibo Marolo Suna more than Kibo. No, I can't answer. I cannot. No, sir, I can't. It's no. That's the no. That was a job. That was a character. So
no, and taking nako, especially when he's like work a kind of hey. For 8 seconds or for 1 month.
That's why there's a director. That's why there's a director. And cut. Eh, I know when I was say Tibalo Sanse or Bezabo Pasa Doble.
I know. Especially primary.
Oh man, St. Mary's, bruh. From Kreche. Can I leave it preschool? Kindergarten.
Musumbuti daycare center. No.
No, like from like kindergarten or creche. St. Mary's, bruh. From their primary high school, St. Mary's.
Yes,
sorry, mom. Yeah, so yeah, and then continued my studies, go UNISA. And then of course in between, that's when I did my journalism. Like I used to be a journalist. Actually I get a local newspapers. I've worked for them. I've worked for international publication Jacabo BRICS Journal. BRICS content I think about BRICS countries. So yeah. So far so good.
Budi BRICS ba ne ba Makhareezy bana le gore ba fund especially ang bu the artists am Mzansi.
They do.
How's the process?
They do. The thing is, remember, information but we don't actually receive it in the same way. So when it comes to, remember, BRICS ke Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. BRICS Bank. So the aim of these countries, which for me I still feel like it was smart, is moving away from United Nations to form their own thing, to be able to focus on their countries because they felt like they're being overlooked, right? I mean, when it comes to, remember, Russia le America khalebasa no sanimeti, you understand? So the gape e godisa economy ya each country, you know? So yes, khonalebo BRICS film festivals, khonalebo BRICS arts festival. So when it comes to art, they actually invest. They do exist. They do exist. Yeah.
Opportunity how rona re ka create sengwe no podcasting.
Yeah, there is. If you do your research, look, when it comes to what you guys are doing in terms of podcast, remember khonano more fourth industrial revolution, right? Where technology does almost everything for us, right? So you guys, for example, I give a podcast. Remember back in the days, it was strictly radio and TV. Nobody ever thought that actually visual and audio would come together. Nobody thought of it. But look where we are right now. It's visual and audio, right? So with your podcast, remember it's edutainment, you're educating while you're entertaining, right? And it has to be informative. If I want to, it depends on the content that you guys are giving. It's just like, in the film industry, hagibuaka film festivals, right? The film festivals, they end the film, say 5 minutes or 2 minutes. So my film takes 20 minutes. So I have to look for, platform and so forth. You understand? So in that regard, you must look at your content, how relevant it is, because right now everything seems to be talking about relevance. And if your relevance in 5 years to come will still be relevant to somebody who's doing research about podcasts, you understand? Or if somebody wants to do documentary about podcasts, what are podcasts? You guys should be relevant and have that content that actually somebody who's going to shoot a documentary about podcasts.
Getting with mission and visions.
Sure. No, that's good. No, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Sandile ke botshelo ba gago.
Jo ke tse ka so se. Okay, it's
le bokolo la gago la ntla. Ke batla la go primary.
Yo!
Primary.
Simolola ka entle ke gore re bokola teng go primary.
Standard 5.
Set.
Eh.
Ina la modimo.
Standard 5. Ne sena modimo. Niggas, no. No, actually. Yeah. So standard 5. My friend with AIDS is still my friend. I remember I did write that poem.
That was the title.
That was the title. Yeah. My friend with AIDS is still my friend. I used to rap it first, but now I was like, actually, let me recite it. You know, so it made sense. Yeah.
Ke go shapele line tse pedi tse dire o bodi fixa.
All right.
My chance to be a hero. My chances to be a hero. Wait.
All right.
Wait.
Okay.
Yeah. My chances to be a hero are just around the corner.
Okay.
Man just says corner, blow my polar. Are you really dizzy? I wanna see your cheesy. I'm in the studio with my niggas trying to make a hit, like trying to explode the fire. Some millions views, million subscribers.
No.
No.
Nah.
They think, what?
Sure.
We are in the studio trying to.
No,
make
I get the story.
Yeah.
You're telling me your story.
Yeah.
Marenkaro batla go pateletsa go rhyme.
That's why I
Don't tell me. Tell me yours. Look, it's for me, rhyming is overrated. Somebody might disagree.
Okay.
Because kibono, it makes sense or whatever. Tell me your story. Be realistic. I love ya gore o tsintse bo, you know, you're trying to be a hero, you know. Ke rata kgang le ya gore o bua tlare gore million views. You understand? That's your long term, and you're saying it out there. Remember, what you give out there is what you receive.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's good.
All right.
You're already telling me about yourself and what you aim at about the podcast.
Exactly.
So I give you a high five for that. So
Why
yeah,
easy?
try. However, in terms of flowing, you know.
Yeah, watch
Yeah. So what are you saying? You want to be a hero?
My chances to be a hero
are
just around the corner.
Okay.
Manje says corner, blow my
Says
pole.
corner.
Manje,
Sure.
yeah, like why easy, no chill, relax, born.
Sure.
Blow my pole.
Aye.
Are you really dizzy?
Yeah.
I think I wanna see your cheese.
Yeah.
I'm in this studio with my niggas trying to make a hit.
All right.
Done, yeah.
Alright. I love it.
Kiri kwa hore maybe re guy ba nganya re guy.
No, nka tsweletsa mo go yone.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
no, I'm saying one day. I'm not saying now.
We live here.
Hey, look. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this. Give me a word so I can rhyme with it. Let me try. Yeah.
Okay, trauma.
Okay. Eta Bloma. Let me tell you about my story. Ke go chaila about my trauma. Everybody wanted to see me as a good girl. Son, Mare Bloma. Let me tell you about something else that seems to be like Yahoho Sola. These days, everybody sees a woman with figures thinking that she's got the figure. Mare Bloma. Are Sota. Everything seemed to be looking at me like I'm just a good girl who's about to blow, but Bloma. Mare Fede were blowing up because ra Bloma. But these days, everybody want to see me as a hit. But these days, still, they say I'm a bomb. Mare ke a go bloma.
Check the TV, coffee, ready popcorn. Yeah. That's best. Makhareezy gonna feel it.
Na gidini. Stop saka. Kiletsa ba ile gale.
Ke khalo pedile ne. O shapa sing along. All right. Yeah.
No yana gona le botaki bo botsweletseng pele go tswelela. Bo botsweletseng pele go diragala. Especially ang bogolo ya mo provinceng ya Bokone Bophirima. Are you guys satisfied about what's happening? Or go setse gona le mmero go mongwe ka potsele engwe telele re tshwantseng re itseng?
Here's the thing, ne go araba selo sa ntla se nka se buang ke gore the generation e tlang go morago, they ain't waiting for nobody, and which is amazing. Like
they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you know, So in terms of Joe, Northwest kale it's go haditswe ka botaki.
Sure.
All of us, or agir Northwest yone ga go tlo mo botaking, everybody knows.
Yeah.
O kana wa go any province, when you speak of Northwest ga go tla mo botaking, it's in our genes, bruh. You know. So botaki boteng. And selo se seng khatlang, it's in all different types of platforms. You know, there are these, you know, guys that I work closely with or have a good relationship with. By it's Scave Garms, right? They have an online magazine, and the content is amazing. Right?
Nice.
And then there are guys like Bizabo SABC4. It's a tribe, because they are tribe. You know, they've got different platforms. Banally photography, banally visual artists, you know, banally, you know, in terms of fashion, they've got fashion. They've got makeup artists. They've got you know what I mean? So when you speak of where we are and where we're going as the Northwest Province, I see it. The little things that are happening actually matter. Because nowadays the people that I meet, or the people in my space right now, they are all about solutions. They are no longer about complaining.
That's nice.
You have a phone, you can shoot. No, hakina equipment jang onale phone onale 1 2 3 do it batla go kra kope. So
simple.
Sure, you know, or even yourself, you're making things simpler for yourself. I mean, the advice that I normally give, especially visual artists, especially photographers, you know, I always tell people, take pictures of the now. Because tomorrow things change. Take picture of a certain building, because tomorrow it will be demolished or have history. History doesn't have to be somebody the history around you. History is around you. So it depends. The information that you have now can still be relevant in 5 years to come. So yeah, Northwest, yo, bruh, it's alive. I mean, Bonali Botalam Mabana, you know, those guys who actually, it's a tourist attraction. It's just that people have a bone marriage.
Shout out to Koki.
I was actually getting there. What advice would you give to fine artists or Baba Durant on it?
You know, well, people love saying God's timing is best, right? I've been doing things, and I felt like I'm not being seen. Until this very time where people actually now see me. So whatever you're doing right now, you think it's not relevant. Art is relevant throughout the years, you know? So what you do now, the pictures that you take, or the vintages or vintage that you're collecting, are going to make sense one day. You know, being a makeup artist, some people don't even know that actually makeup artists can still work in the film industry. I don't know why. You know, or somebody who's good with numbers don't know who actually a financial manager or a certain production company. You know, so what the skill that you have is not irrelevant to anything. It's relevant to everything. So I mean, what you're doing now, there's gonna be somebody who notices it, and that person is gonna take you somewhere. It's not your job. People need to learn something. As a filmmaker, to make people love my film. I was able to create my own platform to speak about the ills of society. Because a lot of people are silent and they have these topics behind closed doors. I made it work, and I believe that it's gonna work. And it's still working for me, and it's been recognized. You understand? So the thing is, it's not your job to make your people around you every day to love your work, because they're not the target market. I mean, if you speak of Rich Mnisi, for example, people are like, di mano price because ene something else. You understand? Because you're not if you're not snacks. If you're not the target market, you're not the target market. Maregape, on the other hand, you know what I mean? Just because you guys are doing podcast, you know, somebody's like, hey, Malitela Pusha. And you've got so many questions, you want to know the how to. batho ba rona ba boliwa ke selo seo. They don't ask. They don't ask, you know. And the other most important thing is how you approach things, you know. It reminds me of conversations that I have with my friends most of the time when somebody sexualizes somebody and say, that man is gay. But have you asked, have you had the conversation with that person? It's a gore o botsa ka entitlement, mar o botsa ka go batla go itse. So learn, like itute, botsa, you understand? As much as people be complaining, our government they renix. Fair and fair to kilo akokot. You know? And you need to understand that when it comes to government, for example, each government department has its own mandate. You need to know it. Are they mandated to actually give you that service? You understand? So it's all about knowing and being patient with yourself. The thing is, people want to see things now happen now. It won't work. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. That one I learned the hard way. When you fight with alignment or nature or alignment, actually, things that are already aligned for you, when it's gonna fight back. You're gonna find yourself, you know, you understand, or whatever. It's because you're working on something that you know won't work for you. You want to work on them now because you want people to see your success. You get what I mean? It's like somebody, I have that right now where people now expect you know, like, oh, you're in it. Oh, okay. So your film is in India. Oh, great. So you're taking a taxi. Wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, people already think maybe kinale or whatever, which is okay. It's their character. Because remember, the environment that we grow or the background, you understand? So with that, patience. You have to be patient with yourself and be sure of what you want. And remember, look, I'm not a religious person, to be honest. Say what you want, how you want them, when you want them. So it's quite simple.
Like, because I used to fight. Listen, what's the problem? I think the background where we from, the parent, the parent, parenting, the way balinka te mo goena ba go ratela gore we go teaching le gore o tsene kereke ga ba itse gore o man deep down wena ke eng se leng gore se ka ke se dira ke sia company bogolo ka go dira gardening gona le gore ke go dira teaching wa ntlhaloganya because I get teaching se ke batlang go se dira like podcast ha ke na that thing e ke gona go ena bana mara ke re gardening ke gona go fantasize ke gona go bankanya dilo tsa ka sentle ntse ke tshwere garawe ke peta because ha ke batle modumo ka nako ewa ha ke tswa mo ke gone ke itseng gore I'm going to write it down tshwantse ke dire 1 2 3 4
here's the trick of it. Ga ke itse e kere se se mperekelang ga se gore automatically mare ke hela the basic. You need to remember something, right? There's what I've learned and it's working for me. The thing that you don't like will lead you into something that you love. For example, teaching, it's not your thing. Podcast is your thing. And for you to have Dilota podcast, you need to buy equipment. So, you need to work on to getting what you actually always wanted to do. Go for teaching, go for nursing, be a doctor, whatever, you know what I mean? You need to understand something when you communicate with parents. Remember, they are from a different generation where teaching, being a policeman, whatever, were the main professions. And, you know, you were seen as you're a dignified person in the, you know, Bobu Ruti. You know, I still don't get this thing. You know, Bohonna Muruti. Or, you know, as a woman, you have to get married in a certain family so that, you know, such things, which they still annoy me. Mar, do something that will actually build something. One tlhaloganya salary e wena we crying when wa capitalizer one tlhaloganya. And being a teacher, you actually have a great chance to teach others about your life experience. You give what you've already learned. One tlhaloganya. So remember, being a teacher, maybe go dikolong tse dingwe o kgona go tsenya sort of like activities where kids can actually learn more and have interest in the fourth industrial revolution. So o sa etsa gore batsadi ga ba batle, or there are many people that I've met in my life where unfortunately, for example, marriage, others got married because parents, because unfortunately they are sad and whatever. I don't want anyone to find themselves in that situation. You teach your parents who you are, right? You teach them a certain language, so they can come to your level. Say out of disrespect. When you communicate with your parent, it's conversation. I think the other thing that in black society, some parents are not good with conversations, because now how some affects. Now they bring the parent power. And it's not like that. You're trying to make them understand, look, I'm different. I may be your child from your womb and so forth. Mara, I'm different. I have to be different because we are all different. I can't have the same skill, same whatever as you. I'm different, In
terms of everything, especially when it comes to Khotsaya, Karola ga motsadi mo go wena ga o batla se wena o se batlang what's your take mo go ne kganneng, because we normally talk a lot about it.
I always say ke nagana gore rona the way re fotsenga teng batsadi ba rona ha ise gantsi mo ba re rutileng gore go go nna easy for us to go to them ha re tlhoka go bua or something. So ke nagana gore we can be the ones to change that. At least we give them that freedom for advice or whatsoever you get. So that by the time okay, so this is how you speak to one or how you try.
Yeah, you give them space to be able to express themselves.
As you've been saying, times have changed and all
it
that.
Has.
So, say the way it might be similar to what they were going through and whatsoever. But the way the situations so I feel they need to understand that as to how we can sit them down and explain it to them, or halfway, it's something okay.
No, I give it a high five.
Yeah. Thank you. You know
I give it a high five, Mama.
Most of our episode, especially in Hanner Simulaga, Renere Zama go bontsha basha gore ga ise batsadi ba botlhe ba ileng gore bang ba bone ba tla amogela gore you are different. Gona le ba ileng gore di se ga re simolana go botsa gore o kgakala bo ka ile family ya gago, because ga o simolola gore I'm different mama teaching ke batho ba modimo ke tshameka bolo nna gore yo bile go bidiwa malome klar
go ne
le nyatso e bile wena no o batla di bolo a bo mama ba heletse ka bo tshimolo bolla ka bo mama ba khale ba ile gore go iregetse gore ba se ka bana wa tlhaloganya.
But here's the thing, you need to understand, parents le ha ba ka nna strict yang, they have fear. They fear for us. Gore ra go tshela ya mo lehatseng le lentseng jang. And I mean, look at the world right now, where the world is right now, economically, politically, socially. It's a lot. So ba tshoga gore man ga go diragala yana outside or around the world, will my child be able to survive? So they're trying to give you a tool. Gore ga o tswa wa di chabeng, you know exactly what you can use, I mean, the first foundation in every family is prayer. You couldn't understand while you were young what's the meaning of prayer? O rapela borara rona lo baka o sheba di silly, you know. Right now cause o godile you understand because you were able to actually figure out why prayer is of importance in any language, in any form. That's the first foundation. Because they understand gore go ntle kwa go le tshwantse go gopola gore go merahe and ga go le merahe jana merahe eo e tshela botshelo bo bong bo bo farologaneng from you. You understand? And that's why you must still keep your tradition with you. So that o say kitlela o tsene dilo tsa merahe e mengwe o sa tlhola o ikitse, you know. So it's fear. They fear. Parents have fear. Parents have, I mean, look, I'm this older, my mom still have fear, you know. Imagine when I go out, even, are you okay? Like, yeah, I'm fine. Oh my God, I'm fine. Hey, you know, and you need to remember, love language is different.
Yeah.
Right? There are people who are expressful. There are people who are not expressful. With my mom, sorry, mommy, but with my mom, when it comes to telling her that she loves me, she'd rather cook. That's her first love language. Right? And she's not an expressive person, but she's like, she appreciates, but in a very different man. So now I'm a different character. I love it when you show sing with her, like sing with, you know what I mean? So you need to understand that love language it's really different. Even grandmas, you know, grandmothers, hell, they can tell you where to get off.
Yes, like,
After a few minutes, her apology. And you give it to her, she looks at you, you know, you know, you know. So that's what I'm saying, you know, we are different generation. With me, it's crazy because I'm the middle child, right? I'm the second born. And then there was the last born. I don't know what. So I'm the middle child, right? And I still believe that I was born in the 80s, right? Late 80s. And people who were born in the late 80s, we are more of middle kids because bo 70s, 60s, we understand them. Ka 90s, lima 2000. So you understand? So that's why for me, I don't know, with my personality, I'm able to balance. Highly my 70s, to have an actual conversation. Highly my 90s, lima 2000, because the skill of communicating is actually first coming to that person's level and understand them. Because we got different characters and we have to accept it, you know. You know, whatever, they have a certain language or the certain way they greet you. So now blend with them. And then oh hey, how you doing? Give you a hug. Okay. You know, so you're like yeah, cool, you know. So
you must be someone. This one I'm to can you lead number talking ka sonce ke communicate le ka podcast.
Oh,
so
podcast only, sir.
What?
All right.
Ke khangela gore hello ke motho mongwe like bo hi to me hello ke type I ka re na re tlhaga go magaeng. So nka mona ka gore ke re dumela o bo hi ka re nna e ka re go fishing yana. So be ke re hello Fida gore ke except Fida how's it Clara.
Was it a woman or a guy?
Akit. You know when Akit. You're like, okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. No feeder here. Just like that.
Oh.
I mean now, you can have a difference between the 80s, 90s, so it was a oh, ke jile flop ka le baka la gore gongwe ke bua le motho le gore me o ga ise o lo bo feeder bo hola bo ke swantse ke tle ka se madumera like I'm Sizo
Asian
Dom
Caesar, you
Dom
wear that
Caesar
term.
one tlhaloganye so ke gone click mo go nna gore
bo mabebese bo hello my size
akere ekse buntuza fere ka njani
tumediso ba gaetsho ruri e botlhokwa because it bulela di pula molomo you know when you it's how you greet me I'm very sensitive when it comes to that when somebody greets me
now I'm still writing a book mara ke batla go kwala ka Setswana
okay
but I want someone who's going to translate it kore ha di tswa to Sekgowa ga di tswa di le two so is that possible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so what are the steps go ya ka wena tse leng gore I have because gona le mareo a mangwa Setswana ka kwa leng gore ke feel gore le ka Sekgowa ha go tswang teng ke batla o feel gore mare as far the character e diragala kwa e buega monate ja ka go Setswaneng.
You need to understand ha go tliwa mo puong dipuo di a farologana kere ene ga re tla mo puong ya Seesemane kgotsa puo ya Seeng re bitsang Sekgowa go na le mareo a mangwe gayo go Sekgoweng go na le mareo a mangwe because remember go na le mafoko a ra adimang go tswa go Sekgoweng right maadingwa that we cannot actually translate direct translation and a puo ya Setswana e monate thata ga o dirisa mareo sentle ga ke re mareo sentle ke ra gore o sa tswakantshe just so that you can fit a certain criteria one tlhaloganya so for example we have archives e ka kopele ga the university. You go there, do research, o shebe dibuka tse di leng teng. O bone gore bakwadi ke bakwadi bafe. Ba na leng dibuka ko. Reading is essential. Right? Especially ka ga puo ya Setswana. You need to understand how there are different types of writings, right? Wena o le mokwadi o batla go kwala eng jang, you need to start there. Okay, if you want to write a novel, remember there are different types of how to write a novel. If you want to write short stories, how many short stories do you want to publish? And your target market ke bo mang? Akidikolo, is it universities or is it libraries? And you do research about authors baba leng teng mo Northwest or Setswana authors baba leng teng, and then you start communicating with them. Batla go fa contacts of different publications or publishing houses, and you have to be careful ka publishing houses. You have to be very careful. There are those publishing houses they would take more royalties than when. One and just do research. And then if you say, or when you say, okay, look, ke batla go ntsha, right? We ntsha jang, because I ntsha as a soft copy, or ntsha as like a hard copy, and o batla go reach a target market efe. And what your book is really about. When you come and pitch to me, Momo Filimin, there's this thing called pitching. It's like one play what you want to do, and I'm giving you literally 5 seconds. Because I don't want you to waste my time. You come and say, yo, I have this story. What is the story about? You wampulel. And then there and there. I tell you, okay, use government departments. You know, and start following relevant people. In the film industry, I follow relevant people within the film industry, from writers, producers, cinematographers and so forth. Your life is going to change. It has to change if you want to actually achieve a certain goal. If you want to be a writer, or when you say you are a writer, what makes you a writer? You know, I've met people who say I'm an actress. Okay, do you have an experience? They don't have experience, and they think there are certain rules and regulations that you have to follow. So do research. Follow authors, especially Basetswana, bateng, you know, bateng, you know, others unfortunately have passed away. Whom I would have loved to actually meet. Mare, some of my friends, some of my social friends who are great writers. Just do research. You know, where you're from as a writer, or where writers are from, and where we are as writers till this day.
The fourth revolution. Someone can read the story. Like read YouTube. Or idrakhale ku theater. Been acting the part of the I don't think it's possible.
That is 100% possible. It's your story. You know the story, the ins and outs.
Okay.
And it can be audio visual. You want it to be audio visual, it can be audio visual. Because right now I've noticed the younger kids, you know, they don't like reading. Just say something or watch something, you know. So Arion, it's 100% possible.
Okay.
But however, on the other hand, please remember people who are deaf, for the deaf and for the blind. So accommodate disabled people. You have to look, because maketo you understand, maketo broad. So don't overlook the those who are deaf and those who are blind. And there are those who are deaf who cannot read, who are not good. There should be a sign language interpreter. Like if you do it audio visual, you can still include a sign language interpreter. You know, so look at a bigger picture.
Next year. I'm sure March and then we'll check on things.
So theater you can, even film you can.
No way singer flop or no singer just flop.
Of course. Yeah.
Because problem recurring, we dreaming big and I goes to be really more stations we push. Now can't get like a ring out from a channel because more because Rene Reich it's like duty or to stories like now I'm free to tell I cannot for no year what's my guy.
There are a lot of things that are actually I still on the planning stage. Podcasting is one of them.
Yes.
I won't be a competitor. Oh, trust me. No. Podcast is one of them. Because people, they don't like reading. People are lazy to find out information. So why don't I have something that would in a shortcut information about certain things, right? And secondly, 16 days of activism is here, and hopefully, it's going to happen where I'm going to screen for public, where I want people to come through to actually watch the film and have a conversation about gender-based violence and homophobic attacks. Things that people not overlook, they know about it, but they don't want to talk about it, So 16 days of activism is coming. It's more screenings, and definitely, more screenings. More screenings. I've been in talks with certain colleges and universities, by Emedzi, where actually, definitely, there will be film festivals. That's in the pipeline. It has to happen. It's going to happen. Where actually we would like to actually when you give what you have, or where you give where you can, like skills of producing, skills of directing, skills of actually working camera, cinematography. So that one are still working on it. Film festival where people come and actually watch the film. It's amobuk or nebupirima. And why not? Come and watch and actually meet the people who actually created those films, so that somebody had ke batla go or ke eletsa go shoota something, we teach them how to do it and how to go about it. I mean, that's a long-term skill that everybody can have. I mean, I'd love to see Mahikeng, you know, ke sa khapele, you know, ditoropo tse dingwe ko ntle. Mare, I'm talking about my home where it's a natloloncha ga o bona motho a tshwere camera mo gae. Le sa tshoga gore what are they shooting? What are, you know, ke go tlhagella mo TV le nna, you know, let it be a norm. You understand, where people actually shoot something, you know, shoot something. La ile kana selo se senyane or you know, something short, a short documentary. Somebody, I mean, if somebody abatla go itse, for example, if somebody wants to know about Lomanyaneng, abaitse sepe, I have the documentary already.
Oh,
no, check it. Oh, they have already the information. Even if it's photography, still fine. You show pictures how it was then and how it is now. You know, so yeah, I'm working on that. I'm actually working on that. So yeah,
Basha, like kind of foundation.
Yeah.
O bereka le Basha ba ileng goreng khotsa tla ke re wa adapt go tloga ko mmabana o la berekisana those kind of stuff. Ke mosha ke mo motsing ka po ke mo toropong ke batla go bona ke actor. Wena o ka thusa jang?
For now is giving you information. You understand where you can go. Hahopala oye kai kai hahopala 1 2 3. Mara for me I always believe ha gona se se pala. Lwela gore se kre wa ntlhaloganya. So Basha jaga ke buile early on, I'm already working with Batuba Cave Gardens, amazing team. And then gona le ba SABC4, you understand. And ha go selo se sentle jaga already, like when somebody actually listens and has vision of what you actually say, you know, they visualize it. Okay, cool, whatever. So don't be afraid to ask. I don't know, this we were talking about it earlier on with a friend of mine, and we were talking about people in general, you know, or anything, that people fear to get information. And information that actually is going to work for them. Both. You know, just because unkutlwa somewhere ki bua se khwase se makatsang, we tha gore ija no how ka tla bua se khwa le nna or se khwasa ga go sa relela whatever nka se go tse, you understand. And the most important thing, don't waste people's time.
Yes. Good varm.
I
know.
Don't waste
I know.
You know, now I've met people who be like, no, hey, ke batla go shoot a film and whatever, and I break it down how it goes. Beke go roma or give you a task, and then you don't do. It's a waste of time. Or look, it's rebatu. We all have our own challenges. If you tell me, yo, I cannot data, cool, let me know. I'll help where I can. If I can, I can. If I can't, I can't. Marilyn, meet me halfway. Learn and show me that you are learning something. Show me something. Because even it's just like approaching an investor. Investor can invest the hella because you have an idea. Okay, do you have work? Nna le seng gore bontsha gore o ntse dira seng. O ntse sa dula he.
Ka latela motho fela ka gore ke batla ki.
You understand? So that's why I'm saying, like, Ronaldo cell phone, you know, work with what you have, because what you have will lead you to actually what you've been needing, you know. So you have a smartphone, right? It has audio, it has good audio or whatever. You can capture whatever and write about it on social media. And speaking of social media, be careful what you post. If I know you guys about a podcast, I want to see podcast all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my God, ha. Because you will be surprised that people are actually following your work. People are. So be careful what you post. Because what you post reflects who you are all the time. Even if you tell me it was a joke, it wasn't a joke. even even some other young boys, I'm friends with them on Facebook. Some I had to cut them out and stop being friends with them on Facebook because of what they used to post. It was homophobic slurs. Others were making rape jokes. Others were posting inappropriate things that actually go, and you say it was a joke. It's not cool. So that's why I'm saying, be very careful what you post. You have followers already, people want to see your work. If you say, no, okay, Shapa podcasting, I want to see it all the time. I want to see it. Be in my mbore. So that actually when somebody say, oh yeah, we're doing an event or whatever, media podcast is already here, they can do it. You already have a foundation, so work on it, work on yourself. Don't work on society's expectations, because it's going to kill you.
Too much.
It's going to murder you.
Makhareezy, I miss you today in China.
What did you mean?
I miss you.
TF platform so when
did you mean? Oh, sure.
No, I know you.
Yeah.
You do. So getting to know you
deeper, like now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And then again, fun music too.
Hey.
Kilu moraka.
Yeah.
Kiya zutendi kwa pili. What's na kungwe? Back to khanyela rona di family. Gona le gone gore ke a kitse ka ke re dula mo Mafikeng ba bang ba dula go Cape Town. Ba go Cape Town ke bale ba ba focusitseng mo go bereke mo bodikepeng, ba ba focusitseng thata bo navy, everything got to do le bo metsi. Ha ba tla kwa kwano ba fila gore
in the dry land.
Guys, lu di podcasting, lu di drama, lu bonessing, teaching. Mar gona lo mongwe, trust me, ko Cape Town mo go bone ba dikepe ga kwa lo tsamaisana le madi le yo kwa yo le o batla go dira mbudi drama budi ing like society ya rona or families ya rona di khatiwa ke some
small things
wa nkushish ena no boliswa gape ke ai ba nkutla ntse ke re nkushishe khalelo go thobela FM tse dingwe tse witse ke batla go tisa go pointeng ya gore gona le bo ke bo mankana ko Movango, mostly like cheap vendors ones. Re dira leng khosa re dira jang gore the Northwest, especially when it comes to media, re tlhakana leng le those people go tsenya borona bo Northwest, cause ke nagana gore ya go buile Northwest each and every province they know gore kwa ke go botaking. Re dira leng re tla le mo pointeng ya gore re thulana le bone batho ba re tlhakantsa mazulu ala mazulu le ba tswana e tla le go cause cause ke bone ke eng kana den kana global like on move lo bo Thando Thabete bo Selongo ke ka move what palms black palms or
I saw it yeah
utlwestwana se se molesa bo Selongo utlwestwana se re oketsa lenda di newa re godisa leng.
I believe in traveling, bruh. Okay, don't want my hiking all the time, but you still want people to know about you. Travel. Learn. Learn how other production companies work. Babangwe, they might call it tribalism. Mare nna go gongwe ga ke dumele le tribalism is people from certain ethnic groups keeping it together and working with each other very well. The places that I admire in terms of film industry in South Africa, ke Durban, KZN, this year they were hosting, International Film Festival, whereby it was such a success. And seeing that their government is in support with what they do. So, something like traveling. Sabubedi, learn about different ethnic groups, how they do it. Saboraro, be around people who actually understand your vision and they're in the same path as you. When you speak of podcast to me, as much as I'm in the film and did PR and I used to be a journalist, I understand what it is about. I understand the aim and long term. Is the team that you're with, is people who you associate yourself with, right? Remember, right? If you know how to differentiate that. When I say travel, maybe oyabo provincing people still believe, of course, it's in everything that we want, whatever. That is because they were able to keep it that way. I mean, back in the day, we were the Gauteng, you know. We had everything.
Small juice.
Everything was born from here to be one Talogai. Guess how people think it's true. It's like that. So travel, bruh. Learn from other people. Learn from other ethnic groups how they work with each other. I cannot. Hey, you know what I mean? Have a solution. For every time we all cry. Bad service. You have the young generation, I'm still going to say it, they still have the capacity to change it. Because once they do or have a movement, they are already a market. And a market that other people actually are looking for. You know? You'll be surprised, guys, with your podcast, somebody from overseas or from other provinces actually watch your podcast. And they already have a conversation about it with other people. So there's a reason why you have started this. You know, somebody will rata se lo rang kgapetsa kgapetsa ke sone.
Right.
It's not for you to make people understand your vision or your dream. It's not theirs, it's yours.
Thank you.
Sure. So I mean, travel, meet people, understand, follow people on social media. You see what they post. Do research. Or timiana, make a plan. Are Jews, for example. Are Jews. Joburg la go attend a certain event, somebody, you know, because the market that you guys already have, somebody's looking for. Just know that the market that you already have, someone is looking for that market. They cannot reach it.
No, the nominees are grown as well.
Selections, of course. Of course, Jack and Gibili earlier, the film got selected for the best short film. It got Togoza Film Festival. So I was up against him. Yes. So nominees, when I say selection, like when my film is being selected at a film festival, yes, Clary automatically gets it. Modilong. So So
but
oh man, finally they're asking the question.
Oh man.
Okay, so my film, you can find it on Vimeo. You can find it on YouTube. Letter to Society. It's quite simple. Letter to Society. So you can find the trailer, you can find the film, and then on social media you can follow me. Letter to Society on Facebook, right? And then on other social platforms, on Twitter, at Walerole, right? And then on Instagram, rich people. On Instagram. On Instagram is o.masalesa. On Facebook ke Olorato Lerole Child Masalesa, right? Where you can find my work, find out about me, and then maybe if you want me to come through and screen my film, it's not for free, but 16 days of activism is coming, so if y'all want me to come through and screen my film and have a conversation about LGBTQIA+, and about gender-based violence. Find me on those. Because ke tshaba go ntsha dinomoro ntse ke na le mathata you know, so I've been having that problem.
So Walerole it's okay. How
Walerole Child, it comes from a poem I wrote years back. Kibitsa Lerole Child. I was talking about myself because I'm from a dusty road, yalo manyaneng. So that's where it comes from, actually, Lerole Child. So yeah. And then Olorato ki inale phegelwana. It's quite, yeah, my name is written different. So okay, it's inale phegelwana, Lorato, and then Masalesa.
What's the difference between lo le rato?
The way I was taught, Lorato ke la modimo, Lorato ke la batho.
Oh,
yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you know. What is that? Now you know.
Yeah, that's, you know. So my name is written with O and then Pegelwana Lorato because Mudimo O Lorato, right? Because Takanye, because O le Lorato, O ki Mudimo, and Lorato is a. I get it. Yes, I can show you. I'm real. No, real. It's written like that. No, serious. For so who my face yalo.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, when a personal. I think. Even my little brother. Mbabalezi. So yeah, if I.
That's dope.
Yeah.
You mean a call on
Kelebo.
Rela go bukhutleng podcast
rela la re remote ke a botsa
raya ke batla go tampela ke rena ke batla re tlalletse ka
tata mo go tshetse gore
wa rona your best ke itse tsotlhe di poetry tsa gone di poetry tsa gago
totally
you want me to recite
wa di rata but just give us one
poem.
Yeah.
Yo
I guess you ready. I said guess you ready. Let's go.
Are you ready? Thank you for not asking me.
I know that you're born ready. I know that you're born ready.
All right. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing? I'm nervous now. I'm really nervous. These days, women who were healers are called bitches. These days, women who are called healers are called witches. These days, a woman prays, a woman is scorned. These days, a woman heals the back of broken men. These days, they call her a killer. These days, I cannot be myself because being a black woman is like being black twice. Why do we fight? These days, when I have to write a letter to God, I feel tired because remade. These days, when I have to actually recite a poem, I feel tired because no words are there to utter but to recite, but still I feel tired. These days I feel like I'm not black enough. These days I feel like I'm not woman enough. I don't walk the way you want me to walk. I don't talk the way you want me to talk. But who am I? Because these days it seems like we have expectations. What do you expect? I expect a baby. You don't expect nature. But you forget that it's nature that actually gave us this light and life. These days I don't speak of myself because it seemed to be ignorance and arrogance. These days I speak of myself, but they seem to forget that actually I was born to be myself. These days being black is like a sin. These days when I speak of myself, it seems like it's another sin. These days I give birth, and others they call it death because they see death in my own child's eyes. These days I don't find myself descripted but scripted through God's lines. These days God seems to become more of a woman than a man because these days God has always been a man. Unfortunately, these tits cannot feed the whole nation. These days they forget that their comfort zone has always been through my breast. These days they forget through my figures they seem to attest. These days I forget who I am because these days we don't speak of ourselves. These days when we pray, these days I'm just a mere black woman who walks around with her head held high, but her feet still touch the ground because we're tired of being black. I'm tired of being a woman. We're tired of being ourselves. But these days we speak of future, but the future we cannot even command. These days when we pray, we forget how to pray because we demand the now. and forget about the yesterday, and tomorrow is never ever promised. But these days we seem to figure these figures because we forget about a woman's figure that's supposed to be protected. These days we speak, we don't talk. These days we have conversations, but we cannot confront what actually is the ills in this society. Who am I? The first question I'd ask you is, who are you? Because these days you cannot even fit in my shoes.
These days we want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys.
You just reminded me of who I am. I used to
I really don't know what to do.
Guys, how many meters these days are you Italian?
These days, guys, we want you to do the right thing. Subscribe to our channel, like, comment, share, do the right thing.
Call me.
Strong. These days I'm fine.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'll
These
be
days
fine.
protect the women.
Yes.
Children.
I love it when already these days ha re rapela re kopa ga kutse witse go o ya mposiam re be re tla e bona cause re ka tsoga ra thuba gape and na go se re tabogile se re dile mo
And Regina to come nice.
Yeah. Ish.
But then what we enjoy that's why
modimo tle modimo o rona re sa morning re utlwang ka ene
Sure.
a go gaetse tsotlhe
Ke a leboga.
tse o di bonang le tse o sa di boneng
Ke a leboga.
tse di tshwaregang le tse di ganang go tshwarega
Amen.
was cock.
Amen.
Thank
you. Thank you.
I'm waiting for the one and only John Come see. Makhareezy.
Hey, we now but tonight we out. Makhareezy Wally is.
Wa muizi akira.